Fallout 4. Now, we all know the game draws you in and it does not let you go. During my time playing the game, I literally lost days, easily gripping me for 20, 30, even up to 60 hours. Something that Bethesda is always able to do, seemingly with every game they release, except for maybe Elder Scrolls Online. I didn't really touch that even with a very long stick. Anyway, without spoiling too much, I'll just go into the story incredibly lightly. The game's story starts out very strong with deep motivations which involve you searching for your child which has been lost. I won't go into how that came about, but basically you're looking for your child, and you can really get behind these motivations and you feel compelled to follow any leads which may further your progress in the main story. A particular highlight of the early story is the investigation, somewhat noir section with a character named Nick Valentine, who was actually revealed in the reveal trailer, but no one obviously knew at the time that he was in there. But that's the shady looking guy walking through the main city. That all takes place in Diamond City, the main city again, which was shown in the reveal trailer, which is incredibly nice to look at compared to the surrounding wasteland. Really deep, rich reds, oranges, very vibrant colours compared to the rest of the game, something that really strikes you. Now, the characters are great in the game. Piper, Nick, as I've mentioned again, and a character named Curie. They're just particular highlights of mine, all offering interesting little points and views on situations, and they actually give you perks if you max out their relationship. So that's a great incentive to actually care about how they'll feel. So different characters will take to your actions. So if you've got a particularly do-gooder, obviously they're not going to like you stealing people's stuff or killing people. So you actually take into consideration how they will judge your actions, which I suppose is where the karma system ended up, since we don't really have a karma system. If you don't have a companion, basically you're free to do whatever the hell you want. So, go completely crazy there. Now, the game's graphics, this is a big issue for some reason to not only the community of the game, but also just gaming community generally. They really seem to have divided opinions, the graphics on this game. I thought the game looked fine. It even looked very good at points. When you get the sunsets or the radiation storms the first time you're playing the game, it did look pretty wow. This is the new Fallout. This is amazing. The landscapes are so foreign to some people, it can take them back a bit. I mean, yes, you've got the monotonous wasteland, which is never that nice to look at, but as a design aesthetic, you can really get things from if you are into a sort of an artsy background. It is very nice, and obviously the 50s chic is always great to look at. It's always fun, and Bethesda always have fun with it. Now, the texture resolution can be criminally low, I'll admit that, but overall as a package it was more than adequate for graphical experience, and that was on my high-end gaming PC, and that was set all on Ultra. It's so nice when you load up a game and it recommends you on Ultra. Such a great experience. The other features of the game, the gunplay, is vastly improved, as I've touched on in earlier videos, giving the user a real sense of weight and power behind their shots in comparison to early installments. The combat still consists of raiders just blindly running at you with their pipe pistols, but a cover system, which I've seen people actually asking for, like a really detailed cover system, I just feel that will slow down the game so much and lose some of that chaotic experience that you come to know and love from Fallout. It's like, basically raiders are just, think Mad Max. People aren't taking cover, they're just jumping off cars with spears in their hands. These are just like crazy cannibal people that are going to eat you. So don't worry about taking cover or anything like that. There is no point in that. Now, I'm not saying gunplay is perfect, but it is serviceable as an FPS now, something the older games simply couldn't achieve. They were just shy. They always felt the gunplay let the games down. Now it's fine. It's an FPS. Some people might just look at it. I mean, the less educated gamers might look at it just as an FPS game that you explore. RPG might not even come into it, and the game is steadily losing its RPG heritage roots and is becoming more of a mainstream shooting experience, but don't worry too much about that. And while I am talking about guns, there are a few gun customization mechanics they've added. Don't worry, it's not a pick 10 system with classes. It's you'd literally break a gun apart. You can add scopes, change barrels, remove stocks. It's all here, and the system feels a little redundant though. Yes, it's great. You can do lots of the guns, but in my experience, I've never needed to upgrade my starting weapons. I mean, why would you when you're going to get something way better within 5-10 minutes? You're going to get the next level, the next platform of gun, which is just better in every single way. So I'd end up just chucking the old ones away or scrapping them, using them for resource, and just sticking with the newer ones. And when you actually do want to customise those newer guns, you quickly realise there's like a formula to follow for the best results. It's not as freeing as you might think. It's very straightforward. Think of your favourite online shooter. Think of Battlefield 3 or something, where you just basically you stick a foregrip and a heavy barrel on, and that's just, why would you not do that? It makes the gun better, and it just kind of get a bit like that. Like, you're just going to put damage on your guns. It's like, if you're in VATS, recoil isn't a concern at all. That's if you want to use VATS though, of course. Another great addition to the game is the housing system, which you build, customise, defend and grow settlements for your townspeople to live in. You provide them turrets for safety against raiders, super mutants, which haven't yet attacked my settlements, but I'm told they do, and I've seen footage. You also plant crops for them to eat and water for them to drink. It's a great system. It is really in depth, but the thing with that and a lot of the features in the game is, after a certain point, it kind of stops having a point. Now, obviously, it never did have a point. It's just for enjoyment. But when you've done as much as you want to do, it just kind of, it starts getting monotonous, and you think, why the hell am I doing this? I mean, for myself, I was building a settlement out of Sanctuary, the first plot of land you get, and I was building a sign. I was building a giant neon cherry, actually, and there was a certain point where I didn't have enough copper, which you need for the electrical equipment, and I kept going on missions and coming back and buying copper from traders and coming back, and I was nearly getting there, and I was thinking, why am I even doing this? Like, to make a neon cherry sign to complete, to put on top of my church, like, is it really worth it? And well, I guess not, because I haven't completed it yet, but I need to get back around to completing it, because I do want to show you the final settlement. I'll give you a quick little tour in a follow-up video. But it can get a bit like that. The game's got so much in it. At a certain point, you're so rammed, stuffed full of content, you do kind of need a break, and I am at that point now. But hear me out. I know what you're thinking. I've got close to 100 hours now, and I have loved the game. But for me, the game doesn't have the longevity of something like Skyrim did. Now, bear in mind, I was disappointed in Skyrim coming from Oblivion. So I'm not a Skyrim fanboy or anything. It just seems that Bethesda's games, the newer they are, the less life they have to them. Now, I can go on praising the game as well, but really the game is another Fallout. You know the drill by now. Massive open world with lots of things to do. Explore and discover. And it's pretty simple shooting and melee mechanics. Yes, the game is brilliant, but I feel a little cold on the game now. I've put the hours in, and I can feel Bethesda going for a more casual player style. Changes to the dialogue option, which have been severely watered down, and I mean severely, to the point where nearly all responses lead to the same outcome. To the speed in which you were in power armor and fighting Deathclaws. Now that sounds like one of the last missions, surely. Power armor and Deathclaws. Oh yeah, when's that? End game? No, that's 20 minutes in. That is pretty much the first story mission you do. So they're just going for these big cinematic experiences to really pull people in, and yeah, it's worked. The game has smashed records, but well, you can't really complain, because basically it's just win-win for them. Yeah, they might lose a few basement dwellers like me and you, but for the general public, the game's bigger and better than ever. So really, you're just sitting on your computer moaning, and the game is brilliant, but I just feel it could have been better with a few of the old mechanics, more of the RPG elements. But we've got mods on PC, so we don't need to worry about that. We will get all those features. It's just a matter of time. Like I've said, the game is very strong, but it may show the future direction our beloved RPGs are going in. But at the end of the day, things could definitely be worse. Oh yes. But all in all, Fallout 4 is a solid 9 out of 10 cherries. So thanks everyone for listening for this. Obviously it's not too much of a formal review, but I like to keep it a little bit informal. Who wants to do any big fancy things? I'm not IGN. I don't need to worry about that. This is just my personal opinion. So obviously everything I'm saying is just me. I mean, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. I like to hear people's opinion on the game. The only thing is, I'd advise you to, if you say about 20 hours into the game, you may be a little bit jaded because you're so into the game. I mean, I would have had a different review if I'd have made this when I was 20 hours into when I am now. So bear that in mind. Take a little break from it for a while. Really sit back and have a look once completing the story and a lot of the side missions and exploring the map. Have a good look at it then, and then let me know what you think. But obviously you can post your immediate opinion as well. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Alright, thanks everyone. This is Cherry, signing out.